Yeah, I think you gotta pin it.
A very good afternoon to one and all present here. Examination stress and anxiety is a very important topic which affects the life of all stakeholders involved, namely parents, teachers, authorities, and last but not the least, students. Hence, this workshop will go a long way in dealing with this issue. It intends to resolve the practical as well as mental hurdles faced by the students of the institution during this difficult time.
May I now please invite Dr. Pooja Jaggi, convener of the Central Alumni Committee, to take over.
A very good afternoon to all of you. I'm very proud to announce that this workshop is happening in a dual mode in the auditorium as well as on Zoom link. And I believe it's soon to be YouTube Live also. A very warm welcome to all of you sitting here, as well as all the online participants from various institutions all around the country and our college. The backbone of our college, constant source of inspiration and guidance, Madam Principal, Professor Harpreet Kaur, will now welcome our expert, Dr. Renu Sharma, child psychologist, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, and an alumni also. We are very proud of you. May I request Madam Principal and Dr. Renu Sharma to please come on the stage. A huge round of applause. Nirja, aap bhi aa jaiye, please. Nirja, co-convener.
One person will give the sapling to that.
So your enthusiasm should be reflected in the sound your clapping makes. So a huge round of applause, please. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. And now I request Madam Principal to deliver the welcome address for today.
Good afternoon, all. Those who have joined online and those who are sitting physically, and of course, our guest, Dr. Renu Sharma. And the best thing about Dr. Renu Sharma is because she belongs to our alumni, and that is the best thing, I think. And a big round of applause for her. Thank you, Dr. Renu, for joining us and motivating our students. And the whole thing that, that she is here, that means you can also be in her place in the later times. So it is all, how you shape up your future. And this is the time you can shape up your future. You can think about your future plans, your future goals, and soon the time should come, and we should be here to see you on the stage. Precisely, but that if you excel in the field, whatever you're doing. See, there are so many people who are taking a job and all, but to succeed, you have to be very, very systematic, and that is, only thing you have to build on your qualities. Or there are two things: you build on your qualities, or what happens is that whatever your weaknesses, try to overcome that. So two things: if you just overcome your weakness, and whatever your qualities, showcase. You have to tell others. See, today is a day of where publicity is so important. So whatever you have to, I mean, not show off or something like this, but you have to be very systematic in telling your employer that this is my, way of my positive, or these are my strengths, and this is what I can do. So you have to make this communication, that is very important. And soon I think the time will come when you will go into the field, when you will go into the corporate field, or whatever profession you choose, but try to excel in it, and don't have any type of shortcut or something like this. And of course, now with the exams approaching, today's topic on exam stress management is very important. And because exam fear, I think what I remember my own times, that of course that fear was there then also, and now it is here there now also. So it is a constant thing that all exam, the very name shows some kind of a, maybe a negative kind of a thing, where you are being tested for your things. कई बार बहुत कुछ आता है, लेकिन आप वो एक stress के मारे आप नहीं कर पाते. And I have seen so many students who knows quite a bit, but maybe if I just take this example, they have a phobia for maths. And if they have phobia for maths, the same thing, they will do good in stats, but when it comes to maths, they have a kind of fear. So overcome that fear. You have confidence in yourself that you are the best and you can do it. Of course, as far as preparations are concerned, that is very important. And with this generation doing multitasking at simultaneously at quite many times, I think you people are really intelligent, because we didn't have much to do, because not much scope was there. Of course, there were studies, but there were certain very few cultural activities where we could opt and we could be a part of it. But you have plethora of opportunities available. Things like today's, if you have organizing skills, you can organize an n number of activities. And if we take the example of our college only, we actually encourage the students so much to take up so many events, and they are a part and parcel. So you are doing this also, you can pursue your cultural activities as well. And of course, online also you are, so many things simultaneously you are doing, that I feel that this generation is really versatile. And we were sort of, because while exam, I just could not, imagine anything else. I remember when the World Cup '83 was going on, then of course that World Cup was so exciting that it was we were very curious to see, and that was first time it was being televised, and it was a new thing. But when exams approaching, it was so difficult that you sit through the match, but then you want to see also. So but if you have time management, that how you are managing your time, I think you can find place for that. I think probably I must have done that only and watched the match. Of course, I still have some memories of it, and but of course gave the exams also. So you have to do time management. You have to understand studies are important. You have to relax also meanwhile, and relaxing techniques are, I think ma'am will tell you, they are very simple. Just close your eyes sometimes, and just don't think anything else. Just focus on without thinking. I think this is the best technique. Just for a few seconds if you do, and just drive away all the thoughts which are in your mind, I think you can do very well. These are very simple techniques which you can manage the stress. And the most important thing, I think, is what I find in the students, because I have students almost every, after a very few days, there is one student who is fainting in the morning. That is, you don't eat your meals properly. You don't take breakfast. And before giving any exam, have proper meal. It's not that you are just just not eating and just going without because you don't have time. You have to rush through. Don't do that. Try to eat and avoid sugar. It's not that you have just sugary things and you have a lot of energy at that time, but later on, then again, things would your energy will be sapped out. So all these things are very simple things, but you must follow. I think your parents are there constantly telling. Your mother is always, telling you have breakfast, खाना खाए बिना नहीं जाना, दूध पी लो, ये कर लो. लेकिन हम बच्चे हैं तो नहीं, बच्चे नहीं सुनते हैं. So many times because so have right kind of eating habits also, a right type of thoughts process also. Just don't have fear of anything, and you will be able to manage the stress. So these are, I mean, of course, ma'am is there as an expert. I just as a layman, I'm explaining because we see students all the time having this kind of fear also. So during the student exam time also, there are so many students who are, maybe they sometimes they are fainting or sometimes they are having this blackout kind of a thing. So all this you have to overcome, because if you have these things, your exam performance will of course go down. So you have to understand that I have studied all through. I have whole semester I have worked, and in case that I am so stressful that day that I am unable to recall what I have learned all through, it's a kind of a failure. I mean, what क्या फायदा क्या हुआ? पूरे साल 6 महीने सेमेस्टर में आपने इतना मेहनत किया और जा करके आप उस समय जब है, क्योंकि आपने कोई डाइट की प्रॉब्लम हो गई या स्लीप की प्रॉब्लम हो गई, आप अच्छी तरह से सोए नहीं हो और उस समय आपको एक ब्लैकआउट सा हो रहा है या मेमोरी लैप्स हो रहा है, तो फिर फायदा क्या हुआ? तो व्हाट आई मीन टू से हियर इज दैट बैलेंस्ड लाइफस्टाइल इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Whatever you do, you have to balance your lifestyle, and excess of anything is bad. Excess of maybe if you just slog, वो भी नहीं possible है. सारा दिन पढ़ते रहोगे, वो भी कोई फायदा नहीं है. हाँ, अगर उस कर सकते हो तो करो. But if you can do it in a planned manner, where you're finding some time for recreation also, maybe if you want to watch any small, maybe for half an hour you want to watch something on some OTT platform or something like this, go ahead. Why not? Because that will give you some, your mind will get refreshed. So refreshing mind, balancing mind is important. And then of course you can succeed in life, and this is about the life stress management also. अगर आपको यहीं पे जो एक प्लेटफॉर्म मिल गया एक्सपेरिमेंट करना का कि एग्जाम में आपने स्ट्रेस मैनेज कर लिया, तो आगे जाके लाइफ में तो ऐसे एग्जाम आपको बहुत सारे देने हैं. आई थिंक द कॉलेज लाइफ टाइम इज बेटर. आई थिंक स्टैंडिंग the college time I think is the best time, where you have the least of worries and best of enjoyment, and your parents to care for you. You have friends where you can have enjoyment also, where your teachers to guide you, and this time will never come back. So don't waste this time. Have the best of time, but within this best of time, plan for your future exams and future also. I think that's that, and more tips would be given by ma'am, and very simple things. Understand yourself, your mind, and I think that is the best thing. And I am so thankful to Pooja and Nirja and other alumni committee who has organized this, getting one of our alumni. So that is really wonderful. These kind of series of talk where the alumni are expert in the field, they will come and talk. I think that is the best thing to connect. And this is what I implore to you also, that once you pass out also, keep in touch with the college, with your teachers, so that the two-way bond is very much there. हम जैसे आप लोगों को बहुत एक हमारा जो एक नाता है उसको हम बना के रखें, provided you just don't lose, because our teachers are there, we are the same, college is the same, but you might go at so many places, maybe India, maybe abroad, wherever you are, but then you come and connect with us. I think that is and we would be really happy. So I have very nice afternoon with a lot of tips and very, very simple steps. And again, I thank Dr. Renu for joining us, and thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, principal. And one tip I'd like to share. Thank you so much for your very excellent advice, very motherly advice, very caring advice. And one tip I want to give, and which is a proof here, that we have so many number of participants in the Zoom meeting just now. And there are fewer participants in the auditorium, but Zoom meeting में हमारे बहुत सारे participants. I think so many more times. So एक तो ये कि get out of your homes and get out of your screens. That's also a stress. But ma'am, Zoom meeting में इतने सारे हैं. हाँ, Zoom meeting में इतने सारे. So you should now, since पहले आप बोल रहे थे खुल जाए, lockdown खुल जाए, and you know the colleges start now. Once they have started, so have person-to-person interaction. She has planned such beautiful activities, and you all are very lucky that you are here, and she'll be doing all the activities with you. Okay. Yes.
A heartfelt gratitude to Madam Principal for your encouraging and inspiring words. May I now invite co-convener of Alumni Committee, Ms. Neeja Singh, to introduce our speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. So you are happy here as to, I am sure you are all going to be very, very enriched after this session. I want to first thank Principal Ma'am for her guidance and taking time out on such a busy day. I know that she has an examination meeting after this and she's rushing to the university. But I want to just begin by saying one thing. Small stress gradually going on to bigger stresses are good for you. So, you know, take life as it comes. And as Principal Ma'am also told us that we should prepare well. Once we are better prepared, we will be able to take on the, you know, difficulties or challenges that come our way. I'm very proud to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Renu Sharma. She's a child psychologist working with AIMS Delhi. She also holds a PhD in child psychology from AIMS New Delhi. I can go on and on talking about her research experience. She has worked with DRDO and NCRT in the field of educational psychology. She has worked on projects relating to substance abuse, trauma, assessment, and interventions that are possible. She has presented many papers in international and national conferences. She even won a Best Paper Award at the International Conference for Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. I can really, you know, ponder on how she is credited with several workshops and training modules. She has trained nurses, counselors, mediators, teachers on the topic of anger, anxiety, management, trauma assessment, and interventions for child abuse. So who better than her to talk about anxiety and stress? So I think I will not take much time and I'll invite her, give the dice to our speaker for the day, Miss Dr. Renu Sharma.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's such a lovely crowd here. And I'm really, really very happy and delighted to come back to this place because I belong to this place. I still remember that 22 years back when I was here as a student. So things have certainly changed, but it's the feeling is actually the same. I'm really, really very happy to be here. And for this, I would like to thank to respected Principal Ma'am who actually gave permission to organize this workshop. And Dr. Pooja Jaggi, who is convener of this workshop, she actually thought about the idea that we can conduct a workshop on stress management and anxiety for students, for teachers, for parents, from the perspective of all the stakeholders. And I think, and co-convener Neerja ma'am also. So thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity to interact with you all. And I think it's the time when it's much needed because we are living in the time of pandemic. So stress is something which all of us have experienced. We experience it in our day-to-day life, whether it's our personal life, whether it's our academic or the life or the professional life. But this pandemic has increased our stresses and it has decreased our tolerance level. So I think it was the right time to conduct this workshop. You people have also, like, you are also supposed to go for an exam. So I'll try my best to give you some tips on how to manage this stress. And Principal Ma'am has already given you beautiful tips. Not as a layperson, Ma'am, you have talked about really structured things and techniques and practical applications with which we can try to cope anxiety and we can manage our stress level. So with all my gratitude, I would like to have permission from Principal Ma'am to start with this workshop. Okay, thank you. Okay, stress, it's a terminology which is very like common for all of us, because it's a concept which is very closely linked with all of us. In fact, stress has become a very closely linked aspect of our all spheres of life. I think there will not be a single person who will say that I haven't stressed in my life ever. All of us have experienced stress, isn't it? Yes, including me also. Yeah, we have experienced stress. Okay, and we try to manage stress on our own. Many times we are able to manage it, and sometimes we find it difficult to cope because many times stresses are very high, or we feel that our own coping strategies are lagging behind. So I'll talk about all these things. But before this, I would like to define stress. Can I go back to the earlier slide, please? Yeah. So if I have to define stress, then stress is assumed to be a non-specific response of the body to any kind of demand which is made upon it. Why it is a non-specific response? Because you cannot say that how it will get reflected, how it will get exhibited. Sometimes in the form of the physical symptoms, sometimes in the form of the psychological symptoms. And we are having many more symptoms, like we are cognitive symptoms, we are having emotional symptoms. That is why we are saying that these are the non-specific symptoms and different kinds of stressors. Whenever we experience, we try to respond to them. Our body will automatically start responding to them. So if we have to understand stress, next slide, please. Okay, so here is a structured definition, which was given by Renu Sharma. And according to him, stress is defined as the pressure which is experienced by a person in response to life demand. So any kind of demand which is placed on us, which we feel that it's difficult for us to cope with, it becomes a stress. If we are able to cope with it, then we are not under stress, or we are able to manage the things. Okay? So these demands, last slide, please. Go back to the last slide. So these demands are referred as stressors, and they can include a wide range of things. Like they can be related to our day-to-day life events. They can be related to our other physical factors, like if we are feeling too forward, or if we are having some kind of emotional factors. Like if suppose we are having anger, or we are emotionally stressed out, or we are having any kind of physical issues or problems. So the cause might be different, but our body will start responding towards the stress. Okay, next. So according to himself, he said that the only person without stress is a dead person. And yes, he was right in saying that nobody can claim that I haven't experienced stress in my life. In fact, it's so inextricably linked with our day-to-day life that all of us experience these demands in our personal, in the professional, and the interpersonal situations. So, in order to better understand what is stress or how do we experience it, I would like to begin with this workshop with a small activity. And for this, I need some volunteers. I need 7 or 8 girls who could please come on the stage and could participate with me. It's going to be very like interesting activity. So please, without any hesitation, come. Can be so that all of them watch. We can place it here. Organize it. Yes, please come. Good. Okay. You have to come here and you have to form a circle. Please sit in a circular. Yeah. Till that time we can make a circle, please. So okay. A bigger circle. Yeah. Fine. Right. Now we'll require some material. The two smiley box. I think they are there. Yeah. Okay, girls.
Sir, light on karo please.
Okay, girls. So it's going to be a very simple activity and very interesting too. Here I'm having a ball. Actually, it's known as a stress ball also. Okay. So many times we use as a stress buster. And with this ball, we are going to have a simple playful activity. I'll throw this ball to any one of you. You are supposed to catch it, and then you have to throw it to another person. Then another person will throw it to the third person. The simple rule is that you will not throw this ball to someone whom you have already given. Okay. So in first round, I'll throw to someone, they name themselves so that we will be familiar with each other. Shall we start? Okay. Megha. Oh, it's okay, it's okay. Yeah, you are? Amantri. Okay, now Amantri, you can pass it on. Okay. You can make a smaller circle than if you're finding it difficult. Yeah, yeah. It's okay, okay. You are? Sira. Okay. Avantika. Harsimran. Okay. Harleen. Gurleen. Oh, now give it back to me. Okay. Renu. Okay, fine. So now the rules are clear to everyone. Huh? So now we can start. So I'm going to throw it to any one of you. No, it was a practice session. Now we can start. Okay, ready? So don't let it go. Okay, you have to catch it. Okay. Oh, it's okay. You have to catch it. Okay, fine, fine. Okay. Fell down. It's okay. Try to catch it on. You have to continue. You have to continue. Don't stop. Okay. One ball is falling down. Yeah, fine. No, don't miss it. You have to be active and you have to pay full concentration. Okay. Fine. Don't throw it. Try. Okay. Okay. I think you people are finding it a bit difficult. Okay. Catch it. Okay. It's okay. So there's so many balls. And we can see that some of them are able to catch, while some of them are not able to catch. They're missing. Okay, it's okay. Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay. So this was a simple activity for expressing about the concept of stress, but it's not complete here till the time we get feedback from our participants. Okay. So all of you, tell me one thing. Did you find it difficult to catch all the balls simultaneously? Yeah, why?
Well, first people are looking.
Okay, that was the performance anxiety.
Yeah. And then so many balls from different people. So multiple stimulus.
Multiple stimulus. As the stimulus increased, it's difficult to cope.
Yeah.
What's about you?
All the balls are coming together.
Okay. If it was going to be one by one, was it going to be easier for you?
Yes. Everybody? Yes.
Okay. So everybody agree to just one point. When there are so many stimulus or there are so many balls, then they find it difficult to manage because it was a kind of demand which were increasing on them. So as the demands increased, they found it difficult to manage. So the synchronization between the parties, it got affected. Thank you. So the same concept is applicable in terms of stress also. So we can have the next slide, please. Next slide, it's okay.
Light switch off, please.
Yeah.
And next slide.
Just 5-10 minutes before workshop ends, there'll be a form circulated, which is feedback from attendance. उससे पहले नहीं देना किसी को. So that you will fill it, sign it, and then leave. Okay? Because of your certificates. Otherwise, certificates won't be given. Yes, ma'am. Please carry on.
So it's about the concept of stress. So stress occurs when the pressure is greater than the resource. Isn't it? We have failure. That when we increase the stressors, when we increase the stress, then they feel pressure. They could not manage it. Similarly, if we are having more pressure in our life, then our own resources, then we tend to feel stressed out. And that's the time when we become distressed. Okay, next please. So we can say that the stress is the emotional and the physical response which one experience. And whenever there is an imbalance between the demand and the resources, one is about to feel stressed. Okay. So what we need to do, we need to manage our resources, or we need to work on that system that where we could manage the things, we could probably distribute the responsibility among ourselves. We can take help from others, or there will be many other strategies talking about creative nationals. Okay, the next please. Okay, this is another simple example with the help of which we can better understand the concept of stress. Okay, so suppose if you are having some responsibility, it's a balanced situation. We are balanced. We are having one or more assignments to do. It's okay. We are fine with it. Next. Now the demands are increasing. Okay, and then what happened? Next. Okay, we are having some resources also, some benefits also, as the demands increase. Okay, then what happened next? The demands are increasing, but the resources are not, or the benefits are not increasing in the same ratio or the same amount. So what will happen gradually? It will start breaking down, and the demands will keep on increasing. The weight will keep on increasing on the bricks. So various sources of stress will act in a similar manner in our body, like which you can see here. That we tend to break down. Our resources will get exhausted, and we feel stressed out. So if we continue for a longer period of time, there could be a point where we feel break down. Okay, so we have to manage the things from the perspective of our own potential. We all understand ourselves very well, our all bodily symptoms. When you will produce the stress symptoms, what is my capacity? What is my potential to do? So we have to take only that much demands in our life which I can manage or balance it well. This is one concept which we need to understand. Okay. Next, please. Now, to understand the concept of stress further, it's a term which is used or which is referred to an event or stressor. We cannot experience stress in the absence of a stressor. There has to be a stressor, and it could be of any type. Okay, we have already discussed that the stressor could be physical, the stressor could be emotional, there could be problems related to our personal life or professional life. So any kind of stressor has to be there, and at the same time, all individuals are different. There are individual differences in terms of reacting towards the stressor. Some people will break down here, while the another individual will have a breakdown here. Or the third person will have a breakdown at a higher stage. It means there are individual differences. Up to that level, a person can deal with this stress. Okay? Next, please. So we are talking about different types of stressors, or different sources of stressor, and one of those stressors is exam stress or the academic stress. This is something which I think is very closely linked with all of you, because as a student, I think all of you have experienced some kind of examination stress or examination anxiety, or possibly like before examination starts or exams are about to come, we all tend to experience some kind of stress. If I have to specifically talk about exam stress, then it's a feeling or a pressure that many young people feel when they are expecting their exams or the final exams. It happens with you? Yes. Do you experience? Okay. So what kind of feeling is there which you experience when you are expecting your exam or you have to appear for your exam? Can anybody share? Lot of pressure, that is one thing. Okay. What else? Anxiety. Okay. Sorry. Fear. Fear regarding what? Failure. Okay, fine. So you have because it will be closer to the lab. This mic or that? No, but be closer to the laptop. Okay. Now I think, am I audible to those who are joining online? Is it better? It's better? Okay. So you people have talked about different reactions. Like somebody said that they feel fearful. Somebody said that they are having this feeling or this thought that they can get failed. So it's not only a emotion which you have experienced in terms of the fear, but it is also associated with thought processes. When you say that I might get failed, it's a thought. So our reactions are not only the simple reactions or the emotional feelings. There are certain thoughts which are associated with this. There are certain behaviors which also get exhibited along with our reactions. Like many of you have experienced that when you are expecting an exam or you have to go for any kind of like participation or you have to perform somewhere, you'll have some bodily sensation like dry mouth or frequent urination or hot and cold flushes. So these are a different kind of bodily reactions and the fearful like thoughts in the mind, which will always accompany with your stress or with your anxiety. May it the exam stress, may it be any other kind of stress in your life. Okay, so it actually or usually occurs that if I'm specifically talking about the examination anxiety or the examination stress, actually it occurs during the revision period before exams and immediately before the exams. Why? Because this is the time when so many thoughts are coming in your mind. You're constantly thinking about your performance. You're constantly engaged with those negative thoughts, which will actually increase your pressure, which will actually increase your stress. Okay, so that is one important concept that if you have to manage your stress, you have to manage your thoughts also. You have to manage your emotions also. And that certainly will learn in this workshop later. Okay, so stress could be defined as an individual's response to a pressure. You said it right now only that you felt a kind of a pressure when we were doing that kind of activity. So when you have to go for a bigger performance or for a bigger activity like exam, definitely you feel that you are under pressure. And from where this pressure is coming? From your own side, from your within, or you feel pressure from the outer sources also? You tell me? Both. Because you have expectations from yourself. Then you feel that your parents are having expectations from you. You feel that your teachers are having expectations from you. All those significant others who are concerned about you. So you make them as a collaborative thing and feel under pressure. You feel that you have to perform well. Okay. Although pressure is good, we know that some kind of pressure will always keep us motivating. And that is why we always, divide stress under eustress and the distress. Eustress, which is a healthy stress. So some amount of pressure or some kind of stress is always required to keep you motivating. But if it becomes higher, it keeps on increasing, then it becomes distress and where you find it difficult to manage. Next slide, please. Next one. Okay. Now we have to understand from where these feelings or this examination stress is getting originate. Okay. Next one. So there are certain factors or there are certain next one please. There are certain like things which will be responsible or which are actually acting like a stressor whenever we feel under stress. One thing is pressure which we have already talked about, that it's a kind of a pressure which is innate and it could be because of the external or the environmental factors also. We're having high expectations from ourselves, from our parents, from our like teachers, and many times they're not real. We feel that since they do have expectations from us, so we need to perform. Then there's always this sense of competitiveness, isn't it? This is a time of competition and we all want to do well. So if it's there, it's a natural thing. We have the sense of competitiveness and we should compete, but not on the cost of our mental health. Then comparison with others. This is something which I have seen in many families. Like in my clinical practice, when I'm dealing with parents and we say कि उसके बच्चे ने तो इतने % marks लिए हैं, मेरे बच्चे के marks कम आए. Or my child is not doing well because last year उसके 98 थे, अभी उसके 96 हो गए. What a big deal. Numbers are not important. It's about the child's actual performance in all the spheres, including the academics. Okay. Then the fear of rejection. They might feel that they'll get rejected. They'll get rejected from the parents. They'll get rejected from the peer group, from the friends. So this fear that they'll not be able to perform up to the mark or up to the expectation is again a source of intense stress. Poor time management. Yes, this is a very, very important factor. If you're not able to manage your time, if you're not able to have a good like steady schedule, then you tend to experience stress during your exam time. So what you need to do, you need to manage your study schedule. You need to divide the time according to your subjects, according to your the things which you are supposed to do. And with the time management, you can perform well. And we'll talk about the time management later in the management part. Then the fear of being ridiculed. Yes, this is very closely related. It's related with our thoughts. This fear is there inside our mind, inside our thoughts, that will not be accepted. Apart from this, we don't have much time to study. This is true for those who will decide to do the last time step. There are many people who feel that they'll do it in the end, during the exams or at the end. But when they reach towards the end, they feel that now not much time is left and they start having those stressful symptoms. Then there are other things also which are we are experiencing in our life or they are happening in our day-to-day life. So this is something, an environmental factor which we cannot control, but we can manage it. Okay, we can manage with our studies. You have your own expectation, you want to do well. Probably some students are having poor study habits, like they are not able to manage their studies according to the way they are supposed to do. So we have to work on that how we can manage the things well. What should be the proper way of organizing my study schedule along with my curriculum, along with my other responsibilities. So if you work on that, I think you can manage your studies. The past experiences of blanking out of a form exam. It happens with everyone. Like possibly you have experienced once or twice when you did well, but you don't have to jump to the conclusion just on the basis of just one single incident. If you could not do well earlier in just one subject or just once, doesn't mean that you won't be able to do well in your future. You can. You have to have that kind of positive self-verbalization. Okay, this time I'll do better. And believe me, if you have that kind of positive cognition, you'll certainly be able to do the things well. Okay, so focusing too much on the outcome, that is also one thing which I'll say. Don't focus too much on the outcome. When we become too much concerned about the outcome or the final result, then you tend to become stressed out. Okay, so we should be concerned about the result, but not too much concerned about it. So these were some of the things which are related with the concept of examination stress. But apart from this, the concept of perceived stress is also very, very important. And what is this? How do we perceive the things? Stress is there, which is there in everybody's life. But why certain people or some people are able to perceive more stresses in their life while others are not? So it's a question and it's a very, very important question. Why there are differences? Because it's about the way we perceive. how we perceive an event. How do we process the things in our mind? Okay, that is known as the perceived stress. Okay, for this, next slide, please. I think we can better understand it with a simple example. This is a glass of water, isn't it? It's apparent to everyone. Now, I would like to have reactions from you people. How do you perceive? What do you perceive? Anyone? Okay, somebody said that it is half full, half empty. Yes. Anybody else? Just a glass of water. Okay, third reaction. I want more reactions.
I have a glass at least.
Okay, that's
Even
really good.
if it's without water.
Yeah, that's really good. What else? Drinking water. Anyone else who want to add? Okay, so many reflections. Somebody said that it's a glass of water. Somebody said that it's half glass of water. And the third one said that it's half empty. Many people say that it's half empty. But why shouldn't we say that it's half full? So it's all about the perception, the way you perceive the things. If you're perceiving it from a negative perspective, you tend to experience the things in a negative manner. If you try to perceive it from a positive perspective, then it's half full, half full. So you tend to have a positive outcome in life. And actually, the glass will never empty. It was half full and half full with water, and it was half filled with air. So अगर technically हम सोचें, the glass was always full. So it's all about your perception, the way you perceive the thing, the way you take up the things. If you take up the things from a positive perspective, you're going to have positive outcome in your life, or you're going to face positive consequences. If you perceive it from a negative consequence, the possibility is higher that you tend to have negative consequences, or stress level will get increased. Okay. So this is about the perception. Next, please. Okay, that's your cover. Yeah, next one. Yeah, next one. So now we have understood that it's actually not only the stresses or the events which are responsible for creating stress among ourselves, it's the role of our own perception also, and we have to work on that. Now there is a question: is stress always bad? Yes, it's not always bad. We have used stress. You're right. It's not always bad because we have positive stress, we have negative stress. We have used stress, positive stress is always use stress. And we have negative stress, which becomes distress. Okay? So stress is not always bad. Some amount of stress is actually required for performing well in our studies, in our other activities. Okay, so we say that moderate level of stress is required if we have to perform well in any area. Okay, so whenever we are stressed out, the initial response will always be the fight and flight response, and then we start coping with the like stressors. You always remember the inverted U-shape if psychologist students are here. Okay, next slide, please. So this is the graph of stress and performance. When the performance is going to be better, see, if you are on the lower side, it means the stressors are low. It means you will not pay attention on your studies. You'll be like, it's okay, I have got enough time, I'll do it. When the time will come, I'll do it. So you'll become lenient. And on the other hand, if you are on the higher side, if you are experiencing too much stress, what will happen? You will become distressed. You'll start having bodily symptoms. You start having somatic or the physical complaints. Any kind of physical complaint. Possibly you feel like having churning sensation in your stomach. You're having that dryness in your mouth. Some people experience nausea and the vomiting. Many kind of like physical or the physiological symptoms. So the performance will always be better whenever you are on the optimum level of stress, or you are at the moderate level of stress. So that amount of stress you need to have in your life, or you need to maintain on that. Neither too low nor too high on the stress. So if you maintain that equilibrium, your performance is certainly going to be better. Okay. Next. Apart from this, still we are perceiving, or we are having so many things like which will go badly in our life, or we feel that the stress is bad for us. Why or how it becomes bad for us? There's so many stressors, or there are so many major life changes which possibly will compromise our coping strategy. And specifically, the chronic stress, which Principal Ma'am also talked about. That if even if you have a stress which is of low grade, but if it's continuous for a longer period of time in your life, then it becomes a chronic stress. And that chronic stress is going to affect your overall well-being, whether it's about your performance in the academics, whether it's performance at the workplace, whether it's your interpersonal relationship, your personal relationship, anything. If you have a kind of a chronic stress in your life, then you're going to have maladaptive coping behavior. Okay, so as the stress level increase, our coping resources will get exhausted. And that's the point where we find it difficult to manage, or sometimes we need some kind of professional help in order to deal with various kinds of symptoms. Because now you have become more susceptible towards developing some kind of psychological symptoms. It could be anxiety, it could lead to depression, it could lead to adjustment disorder, or any other kind of things. Okay. So we need to manage that kind of chronic stress. Next, please. Yeah, another one. So this is about the chronic stress, and I can illustrate this concept of chronic stress with the help of just one simple activity. And for this, I need just one volunteer who would like to come on the stage. Anyone? Any student, please?
Oh, what did you
Yeah,
say?
please.
What did you say?
Yeah.
I missed your question.
I just say that chronic stress is going to result in many kinds of like physiological and the bodily symptoms. And for this, we need to understand it from the help of an activity. So we are going to organize that activity. Okay, please come. Your good name?
Yes,
Gurleen. Okay, so Gurleen is here. And Gurleen, this is a water bottle. So you hold it like this straight. Okay, this is an assignment. Yeah. So can you hold it for 10 seconds? Okay, then keep on holding.
लाइट अभी ऑन कर दीजिए लाइट हाउ डू यू फील अध्यात्म
और like low weight.
Low weight. Yeah, it's a low weight thing. Okay, fine. Gurleen, you can hold it for 1 minute.
हाँ जी.
Okay, hold it. Yeah, she will manage. She said that it's a low weight, so she can manage it. She can hold it for a minute. It's fine. All of us can see that she is managing very well. No signs of stress on her face. Okay, Gurleen. Can you hold it for 5 to 10 minutes like this?
Obviously not.
You can't. Why?
कि हाथ में दर्द हो जाएगा ना.
Heart में दर्द हो जाएगा. And if I ask you to hold it for an hour, for a day, you can't hold it. But it's low weight.
Maybe it's low weight, but मतलब हाथ भी दर्द हो जाएगा ना पूरी काम ऐसे बिल्कुल straight.
Okay.
अगर मुझे चांस मिले ऐसे कर.
No, you can't.
बस वो अभी से ही ना थोड़ा यहाँ पे पेन होना स्टार्ट हो रहा है.
So, okay. Thank you, Gurleen. Thanks a lot. Okay. So, you can see that it was a very simple act to do. That she was just supposed to hold it like that. And she herself said that it's a very low weight thing. But she was not able to hold it not more than 1 minute or 2 minutes. And when I asked or requested her to hold it for like 10 minutes or for 1 hour or for a day, she said that she won't be able to do it. So what does it show? It means that stress, even if it's a low-grade stress, even if it's a low-grade stress, but if it's chronic, then it's going to affect our health, our well-being. Okay, so stress, we don't have to get it accumulated. We don't have, we're not supposed to have a chronic stress. If we'll have a chronic stress in our life, then definitely we'll get affected by it. Okay, next please. Okay, so whenever we feel stressed out, whether it's the short-term stress, whether it's a long-term stress or the chronic stress, then what happens in case of chronic stressors? Then it will lead to a kind of general adaptation syndrome. I think psychology students can connect very well with this. It's a state that whenever we feel any kind of stressor, that initially our body will start fighting this. We'll start preparing ourselves with this. We'll have bodily symptoms. We'll try to fight it. But if it keep on increasing, then what happens? There's a state of resistance where we'll try to cope with various kinds of stresses, but later if it's continued, then we'll have a state of exhaustion where all the resources will get depleted or will feel that we're not able to manage. And this is the time where the breakdown will occur, or will feel stressed out, or will feel that we are not able to manage with the things. Okay, next one. Okay, so now we have to understand that what kind of effects the stress will have on our mind and body. Okay, so I think again I'll require help of you people for this activity, and
I request students not to leave guidance in between. Thank you.
Okay, so can I request someone who's having someone that the last slide, please, last one. Yeah. Someone who is good with some drawing activity. Can somebody come forward? I can draw a simple diagram for me, not a very good. It's okay. Anyone, please. Come on. It's not a test of your drawing. Yeah. We're going to have more participants. Can we have board closer to the dais? Yeah, so you would name please? Megha. So Megha is here with us and she's going to help us. And her task is going to draw this diagram, this bodily diagram over here on this whiteboard. And with the help of this diagram, we'll have an activity. Okay. So Megha, you can draw the way you want to draw. Okay? No hard and fast rules. It's okay, you can draw from your own imagination. You can also stay back, Richard. Come. I need someone. It is really good to drawing. Yes. That's very good. Okay, so a kind of bodily diagram is ready for us. Good. We're very close, Megha. It's okay. Yes. We can just discuss that. Okay. Yeah. It's okay, Megha. It was also very close. We don't want perfectionist. Yeah, it's okay. We just need a bodily diagram. That's good. Thank you, Megha. Thanks a lot. You stay here. Okay, I need more time from you. Okay, so it's a human body. Okay, now we have to understand that how the stress will affect our human body. Okay, and as I said earlier, that there are individual differences the way we get affected due to stressors. Okay, so first of all, I would like to request Megha only. You have to draw the area, or you have to write down the symptoms which you experience whenever you are under stress. You can use the whole body, wherever you feel that you are get most affected. Headache. Okay, so for Megha, it's headache. What else, Megha? One more thing, only headache. Thank you, Megha. Thanks. A good round of applause for Megha, please. Okay, yeah. Yes. You are Mehak. Okay, Mehak, now you have to talk. Where you feel you get most affected due to stress or stressful time. What kind of symptoms you experience? More participation, please. Come on. We need participation. It's a workshop. We will not participate. How would you enjoy the workshop? Yeah. Okay. So for you, it's a stomach pain. Yeah. I think most of us experience this thing, isn't it? Even for me, whenever I'm under stress, I do experience stomach pain. Okay. Thank you. Come on. Yeah. Yes, you can start write down your sentence. You can have another marker. Talking. Okay. Again, very, very relevant. We feel. Do you feel this symptom? Crowd? Any one of you have experienced? Yes, we are having few participants who said that yes, they experience. Nausea, very common. I think most of us have experienced this thing. Okay. You can write down more symptoms. Okay. Yeah, right for now, so clenching of jaw. So Pooja ma'am has given us another symptom. Yes, ma'am. What do you experience whenever you feel stressed out? Headache. What's about you, ma'am? Okay, butterflies in stomach. Yes, again very common symptoms. Please write down for your ma'am also. These kind of churning sensations of the butterflies in our stomach. What else? You can, speak from there only. This beautiful girl will do a favor for us. Okay. Anyone else? Yes. Sweating. Yeah, sweating of hands. Shivering of body or legs. Yes. Shivering of legs, increased heartbeat. Yes. Breathlessness. Okay. What else? Yes. Numbness of hands. Okay, numbness of hands. And that too during examination, in examination, if you feel that numbness of hands, crying spells. Yes. Yeah. True. Frequent urination. Whenever you are having this performance anxiety or you have to appear for an exam, this is a very common symptoms. Diarrhea, yes. Okay, acne. Some memory issues, yes. Anyone else? Nail biting. It's a stress symptom as well as a symptom of anxiety also. And if it continues for a longer period of time, it becomes a habit disorder. We do have children who are getting engaged in nail biting. Okay, so many symptoms. That's really good. Okay. Anybody wants to add something? Yeah. Pain in shoulder. Okay. So we can see. So that diagram is full. I think so many physiological and psychological symptoms, mostly the physiological ones, starting from the headache, then acne, clenching of jaw, shoulder pain, chest pain, breathlessness, okay, stomach pain, cramp spells. So whenever we are under stress, there are a variety of symptoms which we are going to experience or which we may experience, but not all the time. And not everybody will experience all these symptoms, isn't it? Why? Because we have our own system. We have our own individual differences to respond towards the stressful situation. So what you have to understand, You have to understand your own body. You have to understand your own ways when you react towards the stressors. If you understood the way you react towards your stressor, you'll be able to manage your stress. Okay, so first of all, we need to understand our stress symptoms. We need to create that kind of acceptance. Okay, I'm having stress symptoms. And then we can prepare ourselves for fighting with the stresses. So I think these are the various kinds of symptoms, bodily symptoms, physical symptoms, which we can say, or the somatic complaints, which already I think all of you have done a fantastic job that you have mentioned most of them. But if these symptoms continue for a longer period of time, then they can result in clinical issues or the clinical problems like depression. Some might face anxiety. Some students can have severe concentration problems. They report of forgetfulness. They say that I studied thoroughly, but at the time of exam, we forgot it. So there are lapses in memory, which is actually not because of the memory problem, but due to the stress. Then there are changes in behavior. Many parents will come to me and they'll say that their children have changed or that child has completely turned out to be an aggressive child. Even not like that, or it was not of his usual self, but nowadays he's becoming more aggressive. He's trying to act out the things, he'll throw out the things. If he'll ask something, he'll become irritable. He'll prefer to be alone. So these are all bodily symptoms. Okay. So now if you know what are your symptoms, you can, the last slide please. Last one. Yeah. If you understand your symptoms, you can manage them. Okay. Fine. So these are the general symptoms which we have understood. Now there are some specific symptoms of stress, which we can classify under different categories. And for this, I need your participation. I want you all to participate in this, all the students. And what are we going to do? That we'll divide you under 4 groups. Okay. And every group will get one responsibility or one assignment. And they have to discuss it in group. You'll be given 7 to 10 minutes for this activity. You have to discuss it in group. You have to write down the symptoms of stressors on a sheet of paper or on a chart. And then one group leader will come here, will present. She will present. Okay. So we'll divide the group in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4. So all ones together, 2 together. So we can start from there. You are, say 1. Yeah. 2, 3. Yes, next one. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, quickly. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that one. Now all the ones together. 2 is together with all your group. Okay. 3, 4. Okay. So for group 1, you have to discuss about the. For group 1, you have to discuss about the physical symptoms. Okay. For group 2, you have to discuss about the psychological symptoms. For group 3, you have to discuss about the cognitive symptoms. And for group 4, your task is to discuss about the emotional symptoms. Okay. So you'll be getting 7 minutes for this activity. Fine. You can decide your group leader. Then the group leader will come back with your sheet here and you'll present the things. Can we have the chart papers, please? Chart papers, we can have chart papers and the sketch colors or the markers, whatever is available. So group leader or anyone from your group can. They can get the chart papers. Yeah. You can make it as attractive. You can make it as creative as you want to show. You don't have to show it in terms of like simple symptoms only. It's up to you. Show your creativity the way you want to show or you talk about the different symptoms. Chart paper you can have. You can make use of marker also. Markers, page color, your own pen, whatever you want to use. So the instructions are clear? Okay, then start. You can make small groups, you can sit together. Where is group 1? Group 1 here. Okay, so we have group 1 here. Group 1 people. Group 2. Where is group 2? Yes. Okay, so we are taking a break of 5 to 7 minutes. Till that time, you people can discuss. This is for all those who are joining us online, that they're going to discuss about the various kinds of physical and the psychological and the like emotional symptoms, and they'll discuss it among themselves in the form of the group. They'll come up with their own ideas, and then we'll discuss it later here in front of everyone. Okay, so there's going to be a gap of 5 minutes.
Light gel please.
Come on.
ठीक से नहीं बन रहा था तो वैसे बना दो ऐसा वाटर ड्रॉपलेट टाइप नहीं नहीं सेंटर में छोटा सेंटर पे बनाओ उसमें तुम लिखते हो जो भी सिम्टम्स उसके बाद जो सिम्टम्स होंगे उसी से क्लाउड या फिर परफॉर्मेंस एक बार और लोअर बॉडी और अपर बॉडी का अलग-अलग बनाना है नहीं एक बार तो बना रहे सिम्टम्स लिख के बड़ा थोड़ा ना अच्छे से हाँ बस तो एकदम से बड़ा यहाँ पे सिम्टम्स लिखो हाँ फिजिकल सिम्टम्स दिस व्हाट स्टेट्स
Okay, we can see that all of them are really working hard and to put all their thoughts in their activity.
इसने ऐसा ऐसा बोल दिया था मैंने सिम्टम्स के ना सबसे पहले आई से स्टार्ट करना सुनो सुनो अगर सीधा नहीं आ रहा ना तो ऐसे ऐसे वो नॉर्मल लिखते हैं पहले से डबल लाइन करना अच्छा हेडेक ब्लैक हां ब्लैक पेन मार्कर से लिख मार्कर है नहीं है अरे किसी से भी लिख दो यार मैम मार्क से लिख के HEADACH तो मैं सही
Keep on going.
आई स्टमक पेन
Online Zoom platform here.
बस काफी है
How hardly they are working on the audio.
racing thoughts we are concentrating towards it and revision but from fatigue
Like the thoughts come. Fatigue is what could be the difference. Fatigue. Discuss it with your group mind. And those like it. Why is it four of you are here? Where are other two members?
we don't know we tried finding them but he was replying
Three. Group three. Come to group three.
हम कोई नहीं कम बच्चे
Okay. Other friends, if one are not in any group, they can join here.
अरे ऐसे
So we see इधर हाँ इधर आइए group three है ना? Yeah.
तो निकल अरे नहीं नहीं कितना सुंदर लग रहा है हाँ नहीं है ये हम तो बहुत स्मार्ट हैं यार ऐसे करके आज तक सोच रहा यूट्यूब लाइव सब देख रहे हैं हमें ठीक है सोनी देख रहे कितने लोग हैं मामा मत करो हमें देख लो बदतमीज लोग यहाँ देखो ना सामने एक और लोग कितने बेचने में काम किया ये सही बनाया मुझे लगा लेकिन मोजी बना लिया इसके आंखें में मतलब डरावना नहीं लग रहा उनको दिखा रहे हैं सुनो अरे रुको
Something very interesting, I think. So, yeah, when we present, so I think we focus on that. Your time is going to end here. You have just 2 minutes more. Only 2 minutes, guys. Jaldi karo. Hurry up. 2 minutes more, and we have to wind up this activity, and then we start with the presentation part.
Are you ready? Are you ready? You're ready. So group three is ready.
मैम ये
Going really fast.
मैम को तो फास्ट करना पड़ेगा अच्छा पर फास्ट कर भी सकते हो ना फास्ट बात
Group one is also getting ready. Now to group two and group four, you have to hurry up.
क्या तुम क्रिएटिविटी कर रहे हो मैं तो आज डिस्कशन कर रही हूँ
Yes.
लिखना था इसमें भी वो कर दो हाँ और कोई सिम्टम नहीं है अवंतिका और कोई सिम्टम नहीं है सिम्टम तो ज्यादा होना चाहिए एक और क्लाउड है क्योंकि हमारे पास अच्छा एक और बचे लिख लो हाँ नीचे लिख लो यहाँ लिख लो
Group two, you ready? Wind up, please. Wind up. Yeah. Group four, wind up, please. It's the time for presentation. Hurry up. And you can, display it in the Zoom meeting also properly. Your chart. Yeah, one by one. I think we can place.
Frustration था
Like we'll have presentation here. So I think one by one we'll get. बेटा एक बच्चा लैपटॉप पकड़ ले so that अभी नहीं. First let them come.
नहीं
Yeah, you can do that. You can place laptop here. They'll have presentation from here, so they can have the view. View देखिएगा ठीक है. Okay, fine. Now let's wind it up. Let's wind it up. Turn it towards this. Yeah. Okay. Now please stop it here. And now I would like to request group one leader to come on the stage. Yes, group one leader, and rest of you can stand with her picture. Yeah. Come on. Go, all of you go on the stage. Group one, please. Others can pay attention here. Now that it's the group one turn, they're going to talk about whatever they have come up with, the really creative things. Okay, you can come here. You can place it here. One person can hold it, another person can place it. You can show your presentation here. And one person can hold it from here. Yeah. Who's group leader who is going to present? Yeah. You can introduce yourself and you can introduce the topic of your presentation and then you can go ahead.
मेरा नाम ललिता है और हमारा ग्रुप वन है हमारा टॉपिक है फिजिकल सिम्टम्स ऑफ स्ट्रेस स्ट्रेस होता है तो क्या क्या मतलब फिजिकल सिम्टम्स क्या क्या होते हैं तो एक तो सबसे पहले हेडेक बहुत कॉमन होता है सबको होता है लगभग फिर दूसरा एक होता है कि थ्रोट रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम भी होती है चोकिंग होता है स्टोमक पेन होता है शिवरिंग ये बहुत ही ज्यादा कॉमन है फिर फैटीग स्टैमिनिंग की प्रॉब्लम मेरी पर्सनल प्रॉब्लम भी है और काफी लोगों को होती है मैंने देखा है कि जब भी स्ट्रेस होता है या स्टेज पे जाना होता है तो स्टैमिनिंग होने लगता है बोल नहीं पाते हैं स्वेटिंग इंसोम्निया उसकी वजह से आई पेन होता है कभी कभी ईयर पेन भी होता है चेस्ट पेन ड्राई माउथ उसके बाद नेल बाइटिंग जैसे और शोल्डर पेन पाल्पिटेशन ये सारी प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं.
Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Very good presentation. I think group one has done a really good job because whatever symptoms we're talking about, they're very common symptoms, isn't it? Like all of us have experienced these symptoms. If not all of them at one particular time, but yes, these are the very specific and the common physical symptoms which we tend to experience whenever we are under stress. So we need to understand that if we are having these symptoms very regularly in time and in space, with our performance, with our examination, or with any other kind of events, it means that we are having physical symptoms of stressors or physical symptoms of stress. So we need to learn better coping skills. Okay? Very good job done by everyone. Okay. To come on the stage and give their presentation. Yeah, we're having more activities after this, and we talk about the management. Yes. So here we are having group 2, and the group 2 is going to talk about the psychological symptoms. Yes. So hello everyone. So we are group 2, we have psychological symptoms. So first, psychological symptoms we have noted as anxiety, then frustration, which leads to aggression, then irritation, loneliness, anger, which is a conflict, then confusion, depression, feeling overwhelmed. Yeah. Sometimes. Then poor concentration, mind going back. Yeah. And then indecisiveness, like not taking decisions, not able to take decisions. Lack of motivation, memory lapse, loss of appetite, and phobias and low self-esteem.
So for the best example is our upcoming exam.
Okay, so they can even closely related with their own experiences. That they can experience, or many times they have experienced these things at the time of their own exam. That's really good.
We are facing anxiety right now, and we have lots of exams lined up. So we are frustrated, and it often leads to aggression. Like
Yes, frustration have all this together. Yeah. So they are talking about a very technical term.
Create confusion, irritation.
Yeah. Very true. And then even exhibited the things with different types of mood or faces. That's really interesting. That they have anger,
Feeling overwhelmed.
yes. Then what's sad, what are shock. Okay, so different kind of emotions which are closely associated with stress symptoms. So they are also talking about the emotional reaction along with the stressors. One thing I would like to say that loss of appetite will go under, this is also physical or physical symptoms. Rest of them, I think they are absolutely fine and you're doing a good job. Thank you. Thank you all. Okay. So now it's the time for group 3. So many creative ideas we are having. Okay, quickly group 3 come. Okay, so this is group 3 and their topic is cognitive symptoms. They're going to talk about cognitive symptoms, and I think they have made a beautiful diagram with the help of which they are going to show the cognitive symptoms. Yes, please.
So ma'am, we have made this diagram as the word cognitive suggests the mental processes.
Yeah.
So cognitive symptoms could be memory problems and limited attention span, racing thoughts, poor judgment, constant worry, existential crisis sometimes, forgetfulness, inability to concentrate, fatigue, and distorted perceptions as well. And when we are having distorted perception, there are some things which people may say when they are stressed, like what to do now, oh God, please help me, or I'm just useless, I have no hope left, nothing could be done. So these are some of the distorted perceptions a person may have when something stressful happens in their life.
Very good, very good. See, beautifully they have shown the cognitive symptoms and they have even talked about the extremities of thought when they are talking about the thinking distortion. all in one thinking or automatic negative thought. They have even talked about the existential crisis, which is all like distorted perception. If it will lead to a higher amount of stress, then I think distorted perception is one thing which can even result in like clinical symptoms like delusions or when a person is very close to the psychotic state. So I think it's really good, very detailed. Thank you, Ruthie. Okay. Now, group 4, quickly. And again, I'm expecting something very creative from group 4. Okay, the topic for group 4 is emotional symptoms.
So our topic was emotional symptoms of stress. So starting with panic, then frustration, denial, we all experience anxiety, irritability, then guilt feeling, agitation, fear and apprehension, emotional outburst, then anger, feeling overwhelmed, mood swings, all these are a part of emotional symptoms. इसके अलावा भी बहुत सारे होते हैं पर हम सारे नहीं यहाँ पे mention कर सकते थे. So this was our poster.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So very quickly, they have mentioned so many symptoms, and they are very closely linked with clinical symptomology. Because when we start having emotional symptoms, it means if they get increased, we are closer towards developing emotional disorder like mood disorder, or the anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, or many kinds of thinking disorders also. Okay. So I think beautiful presentation and the way they have depicted it, a person who is with their messaging poster with all his face covered with his hands and all these cognitive symptoms they are reflecting. So it's very, I think, creative and symbolic. Okay, thank you, Guru. Thanks a lot. Can someone help me with this laptop, please? Can you take it back here? Okay.
Here.
Okay, so we can switch off the light now and we can start with the presentation. Half an hour? Fast. Okay, so this is all about the different symptomatology. I think you have already covered it. So we, I can just go through these slides about the different symptomatology, but you have already covered it, so need not to focus on that again. And I'm really thankful to you all that you have really done well in listing out these symptoms. So now, I think, yes, you all require, I'll briefly talk about the management part. How to manage the stress. Next slide, please. Okay. So when we are talking about the management part, this is the time when we have understood what is stress, what are stressors, how to identify your own stressor, what could be a different mode or the different ways stressors get reflected. Now we are talking about how to manage your own stressors. So recognizing your stressors we have already covered. Now the next slide. Yes, next please. Okay, so when we're talking about the management part, we need to change certain things. First of all, we need to change the situation. When I'm talking about changing the situation, we cannot actually change the whole situation, but we can actually lower down the load on ourselves in our day-to-day life. It's similar to the lower down the load on the bridge. Okay, so changing the situation in terms of taking or accepting less responsibility or less stress in our life, then changing the way you deal with stress. I cannot change the situation, but at least I can change my own way of dealing with it. I can change my own way of perceiving the things, perceiving them from a positive perspective. Okay, so the way we look towards the situation, the way we look towards working out the things, it will help you a lot. Next, please. Yeah, so there are different methods with the help of which you can manage your stresses, whether it's the examination stress or any other kind of stress. So we'll talk about them one by one. Next one. The first thing is self-observation and monitoring. How to manage it? The easiest way to manage the stress is to do a kind of a self-observation. So first of all, become aware that yes, I'm having some symptoms, I need to accept it, and you can even make use of an ABC diary. If psychology students are there, they can closely link with this thing. ABC diary, like where we can talk about maintaining a diary where we can write down antecedent which is any kind of event, B, which is any kind of behavior, C, consequences. So generally what happens, we believe that any kind of situation is leading to a consequence, but actually it's not the A which is leading to C. It's the B, our own perception towards the event, which is leading towards the consequences. So where you have to work? You have to work at the level of perception. So you can make a thought diary. You can see what all kind of situations are leading to stress, and then you can manage your own stress. This is an example of ABC diary or ABC charting. Okay. Next, please. Okay. So this we have already talked about that usually modifying the behavior can modify the consequences. Modifying your own thought processes can modify your own consequences. The way you perceive, you have the consequences. Okay, the next one is restructuring of thoughts. As I've already mentioned, the thoughts are very, very important. Whatever thoughts we are having, whether the negative one or the positive one, like whenever we are under stress, we are supposed to have so many automatic thoughts. And I think I have given a handout, which all of you have, either you have got or you'll get it later, in which you'll get it, it's okay, you'll get it, and you'll find out a list of automatic negative thoughts. I'll just give you an example. It's okay. I'll just mention one or two. No, it's okay. They can get it later. So you will find out that handout, and you will see that there's so many automatic negative thoughts which all of us experience in our day-to-day life. I can just give an example. Like suppose your one exam was not very good, and on the basis of that, just one single incident, you will jump to the conclusion that all my exams are going to go very bad because I had the first exam bad. So is it right thought? No. What is this? It's a kind of a thought error. You are just jumping to the conclusion on the basis of just one single incident. When we are trying to jump to the conclusion, that's a kind of a thinking error. Another kind of example could be all or none thinking. Like either I have to score 97% marks or 98% marks, or I'm not good at all. So again, it's a kind of a thought or the thinking error. So we don't have to think in terms of should, must, or we don't have to make these kind of conditions for us. We need to take the things in a positive manner. So you have to work on these automatic negative thoughts, on this negative thinking. What you can do, you can replace your negative thought with the positive ones. So what could be the example? That I have no control over this situation. That's a negative thought. Possibly I'm going to have a bad exam, but what could be the rational or the positive thought? It's true that I cannot control what happened to me, but I can control how do I respond to that situation. So the way you start thinking in a positive manner, consequences will also get changed. Another example, I feel that I get paid. Here you have to realize that you're just jumping to the conclusion. You have to apply the logic that I never got failed in the past. I prepared well. When I prepared well, I did well. I did my hard work, so I'm not going to get failed. So work on your cognition, work on your thought processing, and it will certainly lower down your anxiety. Okay, next please. Third thing is time management. Next one. How can you manage the time? Time management is very, very important. If you not manage your time, then you'll not have enough time for preparing for your exams, for engaging in other extracurricular activities, and nowadays there are so many other things to do. So time management is one thing which can help you to reduce the work-related or the academic stress, and you can find out time for other activities also, like going out, spending time with your friends, relaxing a bit, which is again much required and helpful for you. So you can manage your time. Next thing, next please. these are the few tips which you can use when you are managing your time or doing the time management. Like you can plan your study in advance. You can schedule your subjects that on this particular day, I have to study all these subjects. That much content I have to cover. Okay, that much time I have to give to one particular subject. Then taking break or the frequent break in between the studies. After every 1.5 hours, you can take a break of 10 or 15 minutes. Okay. You can even make your own short notes. Always get engaged in elaborate rehearsal instead of getting engaged in rote learning. Okay. So elaborate rehearsal is when you try to understand the concept. If you understand it well, you can even write it in all your language. But don't forget to make use of key terms or the technical words. Okay. So these are some of the ways you can manage your time. Next one. Okay, this is another very, very important thing, that there's so many things which are there in our life and we feel that they're very important and they're very urgent. But how can you plan your day or your study? Do the things which are important, but at the same time, they are urgent. So you have to do it now. But next one, those things, next slide please. Those things which are important but not urgent, you can plan them for later, or you can decide that you can do them later. Next slide. Those things which are urgent but not important, you can delegate it to others. You need not to take all burden on yourself. Okay? And those things which are neither important nor urgent, dump it. You can leave it. So this is the way you can make a study plan, you can make a time management for your own life, for your own things in your day-to-day life. Okay. Okay. Next slide. This is again, it's a activity. I think worksheet which you have got, you'll get in your like worksheet. So you can make your own time management. This is just for this shape of an example only. So later you can try it. So you can plan your own management at your home and you can practice it. Okay. Fine. Next one. Problem solving. Yeah. Next slide. Problem solving is again very, very important. If you have to come out of the stress or if you have to manage the stress, you need to plan the things accordingly and you need to have adequate problem solving skills. So what you are supposed to do? Simple tricks. Like work out what you need to take with you on exam day and organize the things a night before. This is one thing which will make you feel organized. You'll not forget the things. You'll not feel in a rush on the day of exam. Okay? Then always have a good or a light breakfast in the morning. Because many times, like principal ma'am said, you miss or you skip your breakfast, then you start having that nausea, churning sensation or the butterfly sensations in your stomach. Because whenever you are under stress and if you are not having anything in the breakfast, then you are tend to have digestive or the gastric symptoms. So stress will always increase the gastrointestinal symptoms. Okay. Third, if you feel yourself getting worried before your exam, spend some time focusing on your breathing. Simple breathing exercise. I'll just give you a demo in the last just for 2-3 minutes. You can practice this breathing exercise and it will really make you feel relaxed. Even you can practice it in your day-to-day life also. Fourth thing, read through the exam paper carefully. I think this is one instruction which all your teachers will give to you, that don't hurry up. Don't make a haste. First, read it carefully and then you can start with the paper. Do the things which you know that they are, you know that question good and you know that it's very well read, so you can attempt it. Okay. And underline keywords and instructions. It's a good way of attempting the exam. You can even write or down in the form of like, you can give the diagrams, you can highlight the things. So these are the different ways with the help of which you can score the marks and you can reduce your result. Okay. Next slide, please. Another tip, after the exam, once the exam is over, relax. Now don't think about how my exam was. Many students will do this thing. I don't know, कैसा गया मेरा exam, पता नहीं कितने marks आएंगे, मैंने अच्छा किया कि नहीं किया. Don't think about the things now. Let it go. You have given it, have a positive affirmation in your mind that I have done my best. So whatever will be there, I'll accept. Okay. So you don't have to think repeatedly about what went, whether it went good or whether it went bad. Don't put your own decision or your own connotation. Okay. Then diversion and distraction. Yes, this is very, very important. That you need to divert yourself, you need to distract yourself, whether it's about the examination stress or any other kind of stress. You can distract yourself and it will help you out. You can take any kind of activity which will make you relax, like taking some time away from the things which make you bored. Or if you get like fed up with your studies, you can take a break in between. You can do any kind of activity which will reduce the stress. I can just take 2 minutes to show you that how like a simple activity can reduce your stress. So 3 or 4 students who can quickly come on the stage and we can do this activity. Quick, you can write down 2 stressors on a piece of paper and you can come. On a chit, 2 or 3 chits you can make, 3 or 4 students can come up. Are they please? Hurry up. Do we have a backup balloon here? This is the last activity for the day. Please come on. You'll enjoy it. Yes. Hurry up. Any 2 or 3 students can come up. Yeah, you three of you. Very, very active students. You come. Come on. Yeah. Yes. Hurry up. Okay, you can bring a piece of paper, even if you don't write it, it will go. You can bring a piece of paper. We can help you out. Aja, shabash. Very good. You can do a favor for me. Okay. Yeah. You have to blow the balloon. Yeah. Okay. Who can do this thing? Then you can write down 2 or 3 stressful situations for yourself. Okay. So this is an activity. Very simple activity. Anybody can do this whenever they are feeling under stress. Or yes. Yeah. One more. Okay. You come here. Okay. Don't die. We need to put it inside this balloon. Hold it. Oh. Just go, and then you can like blow it again. Yeah, just enough. Okay, put it. Like put this one also. Okay, that's it. Okay, just enough. You can tie it up. Tie it. It's okay. It's just for the sake of like a demonstration only. So here we are having 2 balloons ready, and these participants have put a list of their stressors. It's okay, it's just for the demonstration. They have put their stressors inside this balloon. So it's a stress balloon. How we are going to burst out our stressors with the help of this balloon. So we're having another balloon here. Okay, so you can come here. Quickly. Okay. You can tie this. Ella, I can help you. Okay. So now two of you have to come here. One more participant. You have to, what you're supposed to do, you have to burst it, correct? Without using your nails, either with your hands or with your feet. Try to do it. So it's a stress balloon. Yes. Yes. Okay. So this is a very simple activity. Put all your stresses inside this balloon and burst it out. Let them go. And you'll feel relaxed. Really relaxed. How do you feel? I feel so relaxed. Okay. That's really good. They are so helpful in participating. Thank you. Okay. At least bursting out a balloon is fun. Okay. The next slide, please. So there can be many like simple activities like this with the help of which you can distract yourself and you can change your mood and you can take a break in between. Apart from this, you can manage your lifestyle with the help of the diet. You can say no to smoking and alcohol, which will again elevate the level of your stress. Then exercise is again a very good option, good amount of sleep, leisure time, managing your leisure time, and relaxation. So these are the different ways with the help of which you can do or you can manage your stress. Next. Yeah, this is all about the parents here, but I think no parent is here. So, yeah. So, yeah, relaxation we have already talked about. There are various forms of relaxation. Next slide, please. I'm not going to go into detail, but I just can give you a 2-minute demo where breathing exercise or the progressive muscle relaxation can be helpful. But here I'm not going to talk about the breathing exercise or the muscle relaxation. It's just going to be a simple music, which is going to be very, very relaxing. So can you please play this 2 minutes audio visual clip form? Just close your eyes and try to experience it. All of you can sit in a comfortable posture. The whole body loose.
Play कर दीजिए, click कर दीजिए play पे.
There should not be any gap. There should be a gap between your arms, between your legs. Kindly close your eyes. There should not be any stretch in your body. Please play it. You can play it and it will play.
Any problem you're facing in playing? Can you play it, please?
You have to click on this icon, YouTube icon.
वो जो arrow है उस पे click कर दो बच्चे. नेट की प्रॉब्लम है तो नहीं मेरे ख्याल से यहाँ पे.
Okay.
नेक्स्ट स्लाइड नहीं करना बेटा, उस पे arrow पे click करो ना, try to play it. Can you play it on my phone through the mic?
Yeah, it's there in my phone also, or if it's there with you.
आप अपने फोन पे माइक से प्ले कर दीजिए.
Yeah.
That will be better.
Okay, so we are having some internet issues, so I'll try to play it from my own phone. I think there's internet issue, it cannot load. Okay, it's okay. I just wanted to give an example of how music could be so soothing and peaceful that when we do simple breathing exercise with this sound and the peaceful music, it could be so relaxing. But it's okay. I think I'll leave this slides here and you can pick up any kind of soothing music. What you have to do that you have to simply close your eyes. You have to sit in a comfortable posture. You have to focus simply on your breathing exercise and you'll feel so relaxed. And you have to do it at least for 15 to 20 minutes. And if you do it regularly, you can see the results. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So can you just all close your eyes? Sit in a comfortable posture. There should not be any stretch in your body. Just focus on the music and on your breathing. Without thinking anything else, you can focus on the music itself. There could be some thoughts, but simply let them come and let them go. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is just a simple example that how a music, a simple instrumental music could be so soothing and relaxing. You can practice it for a longer period of time, for at least for 15-20 minutes. And with this music, you can even practice the deep breathing exercise, which is very, very relaxing. So with all these things, I think we have covered about the stress management strategies and all. So I would like to end up here. And if you have any questions, any clarification, then you people are always welcome to ask. Okay, thank you all for your participation and your patience. Okay.
Thank you so much, girls, for your wonderful and enthusiastic participation. Thank you, Dr. Renu. Really worked hard on this and really done a beautiful, wonderful job. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And all of you come on the stage with your charts. We can have a group photo of everyone with ma'am and all the teachers and the ma'am also. But before that, a brief vote of thanks. So brief vote of thanks. I can't forget Sangeeta ma'am's contribution, Dayal sir, and along with Nija, I'm thanking all of you, all the participants, Dr. Renu, our principal. All their contributions are very valuable. And of course, how can I forget my student coordinators? A huge round of applause for everyone. And gratitude for participants who joined online, offline. It was a wonderful experience. Other Sabki program, other you all can come. All of you come, please. Please come.
And I'll request you all, please fill the feedback form later for me. So that will be really helpful.
एक अकेले स्टूडेंट्स की ले लें फोटोग्राफर पहले अकेले स्टूडेंट्स की ले लें एक रेनो वाले साथ सारे स्टूडेंट्स एंड देन वी ऑल कैन जॉइन आ जाओ ना बेटा कम ऑन ये वाला इट्स ओके कम ऑन आ जाइए कम ऑन क्विकली रन
Say cheese. Next smile. No stress. वीडियो भी ले ले सब लोग इकट्ठे बोलेंगे स्ट्रेस फ्री पूरी रात को देनी है आप लोग एक वीडियो लेंगे बोलेंगे नो स्ट्रेस ओनली हैप्पी ओके 1 2 3 नो स्ट्रेस ओनली हैप्पीनेस नेक्स्ट प्लीज वन मोर ओवरऑल एक बार और बोले 1 2 3 नो स्ट्रेस ओनली हैप्पीनेस No stress, only happiness. एक victory. सिर पे नहीं लगा देना मेरे. Thank you. तुम भी आओ ना एक बच्चा एक बच्चे उसकी भी one student. This is a mixed group, but not all. Come on, girls. Come on. Thank you everyone and even my Kalprix photography team. Everyone, thanks so much. Thank you. Thank you all. And now student coordinators. Rest of you can keep. आप अपने handouts ले जाइए. Handouts के बिना नहीं जाए. Handouts. Thank you.